Welcome back. This is a shocking story. Degrading and abusive. That's what the culture around Australian swimming is being called as allegations of sexual harassment, body shaming and toxic behaviour are exposed.
Yeah, let's get today's take on this with Nine Honey's Shelley Horton and NCA Newswire's James Law. Shell, I'll go to you first because you know, young women are being told to get breast reductions. They're being told they're being oinked at. Their boys are being made to wear girls' bathers because they swim too slow.
Yeah, which again is why is that humiliating?
Because girls swim slower.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
so it's
why.
just, to me, this is so old school, and it has to be completely.
What do you mean old school?
Well, old school was you coach people through fear and pain.
Anger.
I have this very strong memory of a 60-minute story from when I was in maybe high school, early high school, and Laurie Lawrence was teaching some of the kids and they were complaining about, you know, I'm too sore to keep going. And Laurie Lawrence got his own knuckles and ran them down a brick wall until they were bleeding and said, "This is pain, you're not in pain, keep going further." And he was held up as a hero. But I do want to say one thing. Aussies love winning gold medals. Are we willing to take care of their mental health and go to bronze? Is that something that as a nation we have to start going?
Why do those two things have to be...
Yeah.
Why is that on the binary scale
if
of that's what we have to go to?
That's
why
what
can't
I'm
they win
wondering.
gold
Why
and
is
be
that the
mentally
only
healthy?
tactic to make them get
I don't know.
gold?
And
also, Laurie, I mean,
answer.
look, that's an example of Laurie, and we all know that there's an intensity around these things that happen. But Laurie's also done a lot of great things in swimming,
Yes,
and
of
especially
course.
young people swimming. And I'm not trying to negate your argument by saying that. But James, now there's going to be an independent inquiry and a review into this, into the treatment of women, and I'm assuming some men too into this as well, and historic allegations. One dropped this morning on the Today Show.
Yeah.
Is this going to be enough? This could take years to eradicate.
Well, because it's a culture, right?
Yes.
We've, these stories have, kicked over the rock, and we've found something really ugly at the heart of swimming. And, we only kind of tune into swimming once every 4 years, really, and we see the athletes with their amazing bodies and their amazing skills. But there's a lot of work that goes on that we don't see in those intervening years. And have you ever heard about a swimmer's schedule? Up at 5 a.m, swimming, eat something, swimming, go to the gym, swimming till,
Black Line fever.
Yeah, exactly. And now there's this extra layer of humiliation that we're learning about. Like, I really feel for them.
It's quite ironic, isn't it? Because they feel like they're doing this to make them mentally strong, but actually it's
mentally weakening. And can I also say, Maddie Groves, who is basically a whistleblower now, we actually need to really support her, because if it wasn't for her speaking out originally and giving up her dream of a gold medal and going to the Olympics, we wouldn't really know about this. So this is where we need to support whistleblowers so that our eyes are opened.
But I feel for
Emily
her.
Seebohm just last night saying that she was body shamed and said that she wasn't a world championship swimmer anymore. So she changed coaches, and now look at her.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you this question. Where is our accountability as a nation on these young people's shoulders?
I think now we have to go to the side of mental health. I think COVID and everything has made it we're very aware of how important mental health is, and I think that we have to always err on the side of mental health before anything else.
What about people who say, well, they should just, that's what you have to
Toughen
do.
up.
Toughen up. Drink the
I say
cement.
we're not China.
Well, I think we are.
Oh, my phone just got hacked.
Another hack.
You did it for us again. Thanks.
I think we are complicit in this, though, in the sense that there was an Olympics a few rounds ago where our swimming team kind of bombed out. And we, as a nation, were like, they're lazy.
Bullied them.
Yeah, we bullied them, and we kind of, made out that they weren't putting in. So I think this, to your point, Shelley, about, what we expect gold.
Yeah.
I think it all feeds into this horrible culture.
Also making news this morning, Thomas Markle has spoken out against Oprah Winfrey, against Oprah, after Meghan and Harry's tell-all interview.
It's Oprah's fault.
Thomas spoke to Thomas at 60 Minutes in Australia. Have a look.
I think Oprah Winfrey is playing Harry and Meghan.
It's a go.
Oh, Dad. I think she's using them to build her network. I don't know of anybody that's that cold to do this. And now, like I said, Meghan did it to me, and now Harry's doing it to his father.
Thomas versus Thomas last night on 60 Minutes. Stop it. Shelley, what do you think about what he just said?
I don't think he deserves to be a grandfather.
Dude,
Yeah, man.
You are
I've gone hard
hot
today.
takes today. Hot takes, Shelley. Let's go.
Taking some of the heat off you.
All that he's
See you in the Daily Mail.
All that he's doing is perpetuating the fact that he doesn't have a relationship with Meghan.
Exactly.
The more he talks about it, the more he blames Oprah, the more
the Streisand effect.
more he calls Harry weak-minded and things like that. I'm like, I'm sorry, you are not a role model. You don't get to be in their life. End of story. Stop giving him any airtime.
Do you feel sorry for him at all that he doesn't get to see his grandkids?
I actually do. You know. Well, I mean, I know that people like. They love to hate on him, but you know he's clearly trying to reach out and clearly trying to reconcile with her any way he can. He's desperate to.
Now that she's famous.
You feel like he thinks this is the only avenue.
Now that she's famous.
Yeah. She's dropped him.
She won't take his calls.
She's dropped him. She won't talk to him. She won't answer his letters. Look, obviously he's struggling, and I know that he's probably not a well man.
No.
Yes.
But I do have a lot of sympathy for him. He wants to meet his grandkids. He wants to be part of his daughter's life.
He reaches out privately.
Well, because I think he's tried. I think he clearly has tried many times, and she's barred him. Like I feel like she probably is a bit cold, you know? Yeah.
No.
But you know that her reaction, seeing him on television again, you know, kind of trashing them, is not going to get him any step closer to meeting the grandparents.
But I think that this is the only avenue he has left.
Right.
This is the only thing he can do. He's clearly the actions of a desperate man who's trying to bring his family back together. I feel for him.
And make a bit of cash. There we go.
As well.
There we go.
Shelley, James, stay with us when we come back. Victorians.
I've got to say, this is spicy today, guys, and I am here for it.
Ready for round two. Up next, Victorians called to dob in strangers with symptoms as the state races to investigate mystery cases.
And a whale of a tale, the fisherman claiming to have been caught in the mouth of a humpback. But this story smells a bit fishy. Is it Jonah or is it Nona?
It's my turn to go. Billy told me. Right. I've got a new little four-lander. Now, the Victorian government is telling everyone to turn on each other and call out strangers with the sniffles, urging them to get tested.
Shelley and James are still here to discuss this. Shelley, you know, we're all... I mean, I had sniffles a couple of weeks ago and a cough. And you know, do you think it's appropriate to publicly shame people or being asked by the government to shame people?
No, I don't. I came in a couple of weeks ago with a sore throat. It was a sore throat. It wasn't COVID. I don't think we want to dob in mates. I think what we need is our government to give very concise, clear information so people know when they need to get tested and they look after each other. I don't want my friends or my colleagues to become COVID police because that's just going to cause a whole heap of, you know, breakdowns everywhere. And the thing is, we need consistent information, not like the Chief Health Officer from South Australia who said, if you're at the AFL and the ball goes into the crowd, don't touch it because it might have COVID. I'm like, that's just describing the entire spectators as Russian roulette.
Yeah.
Like, if it's that bad, don't have the match.
But I guess the guidelines and the advice is, if you do have a sniffle, then get tested.
Well, I actually agree with this advice because as Australians, we're bloody heroes, right? And we're like, oh, I've got a bit of a sniffle, I'm still going to soldier into work. The whole operation would fall if I didn't come in.
Codral song.
Right? Right, so Codral. But, you know, the advice is, if you have a sniffle, if you have a mild, you know, sore throat, stay home. Don't be a hero. The whole operation isn't going to fall down because you stayed home for one day.
It could fall down.
And the thing, we're seeing a whole state collapse.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
That's much worse. So if you're feeling a bit under the weather, you know, call in sick, have the day off. It's fine. Get tested. So this guy's right. And what he said was, he didn't say, like, just dob in your mates. He said, like, maybe suggest in a nice way that perhaps you shouldn't be at work if you're at a cafe and you're sniffling everywhere. You know, like, there's bigger things at play.
He said it nicely, but I don't want to include that bit.
The grey area.
It's also very un-Australian. It's very un-Australian to dob in a mate.
To dob in,
It
yes,
is.
exactly.
Yeah.
We're not like
laggers. I've seen Prisoner a lot and there's no lagging.
That's right.
Otherwise you get in the Elna press.
Stitches get stitches.
That's exactly right, my friend.
Also making news this morning, a lobster diver, Michael Packard, has been accused of lying, claiming that he was swallowed whole by a humpback whale, then spat out after 30 seconds.
Mustn't taste good. The doctors are now saying that if the man did go through such an encounter, he would have come out with much more serious injuries. So I'm going to go to you first on this one, James. What do you reckon about this bloke? Do you reckon he's telling porky pies, or do you reckon Jonah and the whale's a real thing?
Look, it's a little bit suspect, I reckon, because what the experts are saying that is if you got swallowed by a whale like this, which is on the first hand very, very rare.
No, you got swallowed by a whale.
Yes.
Well, so you've got biblical people and Pinocchio. They're the only evidence we have that this could happen.
So doctors don't really have any evidence.
Other cases.
Well, there could be other people who have been swallowed, but they just weren't spat out. So we just didn't hear the story.
All the way through to the other end.
This is taking a dark turn.
I'm just saying that it could happen.
Well, all he came out with was like sore legs or something. So, you know, maybe at best it had a little nibble on him, but I don't think he says that he was swallowed whole
But do they
and then
have
spat
big
out.
teeth? Like, what kind of injuries
they
would you get?
They get the krill, so it's kind of like...
Kelp and krill.
Yeah.
Kale.
Look,
They're vegan.
I think... They're vegan.
They're vegan.
And look at how big they are.
They're massive.
I think this sounds like a case for Angela Lansbury. Like it's the Cape Cod Times and the man swallowed by a whale. But was he really? We'll find out on the next episode of Murder, She Wrote. I think he's telling porcupines and he's loving the attention.
Well, Michael, if
think.
you're listening, if you're watching, come on the show. Let us know.
Whale of a tale, mate. All right, team, thank you so much. Have a great public holiday.
Thank you.
Next on Today Extra, supercharge your tax return using technology. The simple tricks to save you some cash. We'll see you soon.
You don't